right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, the check is in the mail. Why the state of Illinois is sending money to more than 6 million people.
Another cool morning Tuesday, but much warmer weather is ahead for later this week. Why the weekend will sort of feel summer-like.
But first tonight, 2 children shot. A neighborhood distressed by violence.
They hear gunshots, they get down.
The victims fighting for their lives in the hospital right now.
Tonight, the people of St. Louis want answers and solutions. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Those weren't the only 2 children shot in the last 24 hours. Last night, police shot and killed a teenager they say was reaching for a gun. We have team coverage tonight of both of these incidents. 5 on your side has been searching for answers all day, and we start tonight with our Elise Schoenig. She was at the scene just south of Fairground Park in North St. Louis just minutes after a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old were both shot. She joins us now from downtown. Elise?
Yeah, guys, I spent hours in this neighborhood earlier today trying to talk to them about what exactly they were feeling after this tragedy happened. I met one woman who says that after 30 years of being in this neighborhood, all she's ever known is peace. But after everything that happened today, there was an entirely different picture painted of the neighborhood she's called home for so long.
Was everyone okay?
This was 30-year resident Vanita McClendon's first reaction to the tragedy that rippled through her neighborhood Monday afternoon.
You have to walk around or you have to go to your car. You know, if you're out, you know, you might get hit with a gun, a bullet or gunshots.
The people of Palm Street say it's a peaceful place, filled with children coming home from school and growing families. It's why news of a 9-year-old and 16-year-old both getting shot was too shocking to take in.
I have grandchildren around that play.
McClendon says she's already taught her own grandchildren gun safety. With so many children around, it's extra defense that could save a life.
They know when they hear gunshots, they get down. We practice safety in the house.
She says everyone should be ready for something like this to happen, not just police.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like you said, it's this pop-up strange occurrence over here, so it wasn't anything we could expect.
While McClendon wants more police as a start, there's more change she wants beyond what meets the eye.
See more of the community coming together.
Now, police did confirm with us that both of these children are stable. We still don't know how this incident was started earlier today, but we will continue to bring you that information as we begin to learn it as well once police continue to investigate. Reporting live in St. Louis, Elise Schoenig, 5 on your side.
There's a lot of young boys around here with guns. There are, but why? Because they don't feel safe.
Family members of a teenager shot and killed less than 24 hours ago tell 5 on your side many of these teenagers carry guns because they don't feel safe. And late last night, police say a 16-year-old reached for a gun before officers shot him in North City.
He was a good kid. He was respectable. He saved any woman in his life, including me.
Tonight, more than 24 family members and friends of 16-year-old Daryl Ross held a candlelight vigil and balloon release outside the gas station where he was shot and killed. That gas station is no stranger to violence.
Our team coverage continues with 5 on your side's Robert Townsend. Robert is live outside St. Louis Police Headquarters, which is less than 2 miles away from the old North St. Louis Shell station, gas station. And Robert, you talked to people in that area.
Hey there, Ann. Let me tell you this. Those people tell me that violence near that gas station has been an ongoing problem. Now today, St. Louis Police shared crime numbers with us supporting citizens' concerns.
It's definitely rough.
That's how Shawnee Parker describes living near this gas station in Old North St. Louis. The gas station is located near the intersection of North Florissant and St. Louis Avenues.
You see drug dealers sitting on the parking lot all day, in and out.
And that's not all. St. Louis police say since late January, they have received more than 60 calls to the gas station. Calls ranging from shots fired, auto theft, to disturbances. What's more, police say during the same time, they responded to more than 100 calls at the North Side intersection.
I prefer to keep, inside my little territory down there. Absolutely.
Neighbors say for years the gas station has been a hot spot for crime and other problems. City officials have identified the business as a public nuisance. 3 hours before an armed 16-year-old boy was shot and killed Sunday during an officer-involved shooting, 3rd Ward Alderman Brandon Bosley says he was at the gas station addressing a loitering problem in the parking lot.
And walked around with the current manager and asked people to leave the lot, and they did.
Police have a real-time shot spotter camera system on St. Louis Avenue in hopes of catching criminals who fire gunshots. We also saw cameras on 2 traffic lights. Still, some neighbors would like to see security officers patrolling the gas station.
He doesn't have to have security there. That's not within his, occupancy permit.
Those people won't be able to hang out, just sitting here hanging out on the lot all day. If there's security, keeping track and making sure everybody's safe.
And next month, the gas station owner and the city will go to court. Of course, we will let you know the outcome of that meeting. Live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The 3 children shot over the last 24 hours now put St. Louis's total number of juvenile shootings in 2022 at 94. 11 of those children died. During all of 2021, there were 99 children shot. 12 of them died.
4 separate times today, defense attorneys requested a mistrial in a high-profile murder-for-hire case. All 4 times, the judge denied those requests for Tim Norman of Sweetie Pies fame. The former reality TV star and restaurateur is now on trial, accused of plotting to kill his nephew. Former Sweetie Pies workers were among those who took the stand today. Tomorrow, the final defense witness is expected to testify. The jury could also begin deliberations sometime tomorrow.
Tonight, we're waiting to hear whether 3 dogs will be euthanized after a deadly attack. 3 men were attacked in a North St. Louis neighborhood in July. Since then, 1 of them has died. The health department released a statement that recommends euthanasia. The owner has 5 days to file an appeal.
It happened again, this time in Rolla, Missouri. Tonight, police are searching for 2 people who burglarized a gun store. They released these photos of the suspects. Police say they stole multiple firearms around 6:15 last night at PCA Guns. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Rolla Police Department. That number is 573-308-1213. Over the past few weeks, burglars hit at least 5 gun stores in the St. Louis area. They did it by ramming stolen cars into the buildings. The group is reported to have swiped more than 50 firearms. The ATF is offering a reward of up to $7,500 for information leading to the identification and the arrest of the suspects. And if you know anything, you can call 1-800-283-4867.
A different kind of burglary incident tonight. A Tulsa man is charged for stealing $12,000 worth of Pokemon cards in Crestwood, Missouri. Nicholas Garrison faces 3 felony charges in connection with the burglary of Yeti Gaming back in October of 2021. Garrison could face up to 7 years in prison.
Tonight, money is on the way to taxpayers in the Metro East.
For working families with children, that money could put more food on the table. It could relieve the stress of trying to make ends meet or having to take an extra shift to make sure the rent or mortgage is paid on time.
The state of Illinois began sending out income tax and property tax rebates. It's part of the state's inflation relief package. For the income tax rebate, a single person will receive $50. Joint filers will get $100, with an additional $100 per dependent, up to $300. The check started going out today, but it could take up to 8 weeks for your check to arrive.
A Democrat is switching parties to run against Sam Page for St. Louis County Executive this November.
Just 2 hours ago, Republican Party officials picked Mark Mantovani to jump into the race, and our political editor Mark Maxwell was there.
Mike and Ann, it's a rematch under a Republican rebrand. Mark Mantovani ran against Sam Page before in the Democratic primary in 2020, finished runner-up in that race. This time, he'll draw from Democrats and Republican voters and sees a path to victory if he can cobble together a broad enough coalition. Party officials and voters, some of whom supported Pinner in the primary, expressed anger and frustration that she quit so suddenly and put them in this position to pick a new candidate. The silver lining, though, it might give Mantovani the element of surprise. If Page had trained his sights on little-known Catherine Pinner, he would have to recalibrate for a much more organized campaign, a more well-funded campaign from Mantovani. The Page campaign today highlighting that he voted for Joe Biden, but in his stump speech to that committee, Mantovani tried his hand at some Trump-style insults and nicknames.
And Sleepy Sam's sluggish ways are anesthetizing our community. Sleepy Sam puts our community to sleep. He's got the energy level of a South American sloth, and we can't allow this to continue. He has become the lapdog of the defund the police crowd, and we've got to change the leadership of the county now.
I've just switched parties recently. I hope that my friends in the Democratic Party know that I'm not abandoning them. I'm the same guy. I have the same views. I have the same opinions that I always have.
The crowd ate up some of those slogans tonight. This pick, though, showing that Republican officials are putting strategy over ideology. They expect their voters to come out and support anyone but Sam Page. But now Mantovani has just a few weeks to try and make his case to independents and Democrats.
And Mark, we saw Shamed Dogan in the crowd there. So how is he reacting to all of this? Because he's the one who lost out to Pinner.
Yeah, the House Republican with a longer political resume. Obviously, Dogan was stunned and disappointed he lost. He discussed some of that with us tonight. I asked one Pinner voter in the crowd why she voted against him. She replied, wasn't he for all that critical race theory stuff? He wasn't. Dogan declined to jump back in, though, throwing his weight instead behind Mantovani now, along with Page's primary challenger, Jane Duker. She was there tonight, too. All the anti-Sam Page forces now teaming up to try and take him down 8 weeks from tomorrow night in the general election.
All right, Mark, thanks.
A special election will be held in St. Louis City tomorrow. It's also the first time Missouri's new voter ID law will be put into action. Voters must show a current Missouri driver's license or a government-issued ID. Voter registration cards or a student ID will not be accepted. If you do not have an ID, you can still vote, but you'll have to put your provisional ballot into an envelope for your information to be verified. And don't forget, polling locations are different. You can find a list of locations on KSTK.com under the As Seen on TV section.
It's your sign that you should walk away from this dealership.
Dealing with dealer deceit. The key things to watch for so a car salesman doesn't take you and your wallet for a ride. It's supposed to bridge the gap between downtown and North St. Louis. Tonight, the multi-million-dollar street plan in the works.
The gusty breezes from earlier today have settled down. I'll show you why this weekend may be a perfect weekend to be outside.
Tonight, thousands continue to file past Queen Elizabeth's coffin as she lies in state inside the St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, Scotland. King Charles III greeted mourners waiting in the long lines.
I found it more emotional than I thought because at the end of the day he's just a grieving son. But he was, he basically said to us that he had been dreading the moment coming and he was trying to keep everything going.
Tomorrow, the Royal Air Force will accompany the Queen on her final flight to London. Her funeral will take place 1 week from tomorrow.
It was 60 years ago today. JFK gave a speech proclaiming the U.S. would send a man to the moon. And tonight, President Biden delivered a speech in Boston inspired by our 35th president. He detailed his administration's cancer moonshot initiation with a goal to cut the cancer death rate in half over the next 25 years.
Cancer does not discriminate red and blue. It doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Beating cancer is something we can do together.
President Biden lost his son Beau to brain cancer in 2015. He signed an executive order to boost manufacturing and cutting-edge technologies needed to fight cancer.
Tonight, St. Louis has an $11 million street project in the works. Here's a look at the plan from our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal. The 1.6-mile corridor links the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency campus to the new MLS Stadium. The goal is to make the road more pedestrian-friendly and bridge the gap between downtown and North St. Louis. The project is among the $60 million in road upgrades the city and state are funding through bonds. Construction is expected to start in the spring of 2024. South St. Louis County residents may soon be able to order their pumpkin spice lattes closer to home. 2 new Starbucks locations are in the works in the area, one on Butler Hill Road and another on Telegraph in Oakville. The permits have been issued, so until they're approved, construction is on hold. The results are in. WashU is once again one of the best universities in the country, but not as good as last year. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal say the school is now ranked 15th out of 443 national universities. Last year, it tied for 14th. Some other local colleges on the list: SLU at 105, Mizzou 121, UMSL 219, and Maryville at 234. These rankings are all according to U.S. News and World Report.
Buying a new or used car can be tricky and frustrating, but new federal rules could be coming to protect you. Until then, experts at Consumer Reports have some tips on how to avoid some common car buying mistakes.
Have you ever left a car dealership with the promise of a great deal, only to realize that smooth-talking car salesman took you for a ride? Those days could be coming to an end, thanks to new guidelines being proposed by the Federal Trade Commission.
The FTC received more than 100,000 complaints each year over the past 3 years about shady dealership practices, and now they're trying to put into place some protections to keep them from happening to consumers.
Some of the practices the FTC would ban: not disclosing the full price of a car to any consumer who asks.
Until then, you're going to want to get as much information in writing from the dealer as possible. Ask for an itemized out-the-door price,
including for add-ons that have already been installed on that car that is apparently the last one in stock. Sound familiar?
Under the new rules, you would not have to pay more in order to purchase the vehicle. But until then, you need to negotiate with the dealer and try and get those extras taken off.
And did you know that half a dealer's profit, about $1,200 for new cars, and about a third of the profits, or $900 for used, comes from extra financing, leasing, and service fees?
At the end of the whole process, check the paperwork, check the math. If there is an extra that you want to buy, negotiate the price on that, and don't fall for unnecessary extras.
Like those nitrogen-filled tires. Consumer Reports has seen charges as high as $495, even though one company says dealers should charge only $8 to $12 for a fill. Consumer Reports recommends skipping nitrogen altogether, no matter the price. And how about when you go to pick up the car only to be told there was a mistake? The car just got sold. The only one left is more expensive.
It's the classic bait and switch. And in most states, it's illegal. It's at least an unfair trade practice. And it's your sign that you should walk away from this dealership.
Automotive dealer associations say the proposed rules are complicated and could negatively impact their business. If you feel you've been wronged by a dealership, Consumer Reports advises you to get in touch with the Federal Trade Commission.
Take a look at the weather in Wisconsin. Yeah, snow plows on the road, but they are not plowing snow. They're actually just pushing the water off the road. This video is from this morning. They had some pretty decent flooding and it shut down one side of the highway. We are certainly not seeing rain like this here in St. Louis. We had a beautiful, very fall day. You needed a sweatshirt, Scott, this morning when you woke up, and that cooler morning weather is going to stick around.
This is the week of lost jackets. I say that because the kids, you know, they're walking out the door. They've got on the little coats, the lightweight stuff.
Never to be seen again.
You won't see it again this week. It's going, you know, they used to have the coat closet. I don't know where they go now. Stuff them in the drawer, stuff them in the desk, but they don't come back home with you for sure, especially when it's so nice in the afternoon. 79 was our top temperature this afternoon. We did have a pretty sunset around St. Louis as those clouds rolled in on the backside of this system. Your low temperature this morning down to 56 degrees. Coolest it's been since the 3rd of June. Speaking of sunsets, how about this from New Douglas, Illinois? Amanda sent this in with our 5 on Your Side weather watchers on Facebook. And boy, what a pretty sky tonight. A lot of pictures coming in. You can join our Facebook group. Just search for 5 on Your Side weather watchers. Like all the weather watchers we can get for sure. Those low clouds, well, they've made it back. Actually, they're about 7,500 feet. That's the base of the clouds over St. Louis. They kind of just go right up the Mississippi River, and they should slowly overnight shift off to the east of us, get us back into the clear sky. But since we have the clouds around in St. Louis now, it's keeping our temperatures up just a little bit. But the air is still very dry. And once we break those clouds up, given the winds dying down overnight tonight, which they've already settled quite a bit, We do have another cool morning tomorrow morning. Upper 40s to mid 50s in town. May hold those temperatures around 50 to 53 northeast of St. Louis because of the extra cloud cover hanging in for just a little longer overnight. But then tomorrow, bright sunshine. Back to around 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Pick out your spot across the 5 on Your Side area from Vandalia to Wentzville, all the way down to Arcadia. What a great time to be hiking down at Tom Sauk or maybe taking a float trip. Even nice weather for that. Camping too, right down along the Merrimack. We're talking temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the lower 80s, and we're looking at the humidity staying low for the next several days. Cardinals get back into action tomorrow night. Dry air. And you know, when it's less humid, that's not overly favorable for the long ball, but we'll see. Albert, you know, we've got 5 games at home this week. Isn't that right? 6. There's 4 this weekend. Ahmad's right over here. Yeah, because we've got a makeup game with Cincinnati on Saturday, so there's a doubleheader. Look at the humidity levels. They're not going to be all that bad as we head through the rest of the weekend towards the weekend. They are staying low for this time of year. So even though temperatures are going high, getting close to 90, 91 by the end of the weekend into early next week, it won't have that summertime feel per se because we don't have much in the way of humidity. There's also not much of a rain chance over the next 7 to 10 days. So we should get this home series with the Cardinals, both with the Brewers and then with the Reds, in without a problem.
Not much to complain about. All right, Scott, thank you. Ahmad is in for Frank with sports next.
Yeah, after seeing 2 quarterbacks take the field this past weekend versus K-State, is there another quarterback battle brewing in Columbia? Eli Drinkwitz weighs in next in sports.
Chasing 700 is sponsored by CarShield.
With the way Albert Pujols has been playing recently, I wish the Cardinals never had a day off, but today they did. So we reflect on the big fella and the record-breaking swing from this weekend versus the Pirates.
He's all alone, 4th place in home runs in Major League history.
Albert now has 21 games to hit 3 homers and get to 700. Seems doable, right? He just might deliver this week the way he's going. The Brewers come to town for 2 games, and then the Reds are here over the weekend for 5. And as you can see, he's had better home run success against Milwaukee in 2022. Surprisingly, he's only has one hit against the suspect Cincinnati staff. Now, for those still upset about the Rams leaving town and the Battlehawks leaving faster than they came, worry no more. Competitive football at the Division I level will soon make its way to our area when Lindenwood plays their first home game since making the move up a level. They snuck out of Houston Baptist this past weekend with the win thanks to a last-second punt block and scoop and score touchdown. Head coach Jed Stuger said when he returned to his phone moments after the game, he had more than 60 text messages congratulating him and the team on the win. He said everyone on campus can sense the excitement, which should make for a great atmosphere this Saturday when they take on Kaiser University.
It's pretty cool, and how many Lindenwood people and faculty staff that were texting us, watched the game, congratulated us. It's great with that kind of energy around here and in this community. You know, just driving and bumping into people, and everybody's aware of what we're doing and this move, and they're paying attention. And I really anticipate a heck of a crowd here Saturday night.
Heading into the Missouri Tigers football season, a lot of questions surrounded the quarterback room and who the signal caller would be. Head coach Eli Drinkwitz put a lot of those topics to rest, naming St. Louis native Brady Cook the quarterback. But after posting 329 yards in 2 games and 3 interceptions to his 1 touchdown, Tiger Nation may be a little concerned, especially after seeing 2 quarterbacks combine for 128 yards and 4 interceptions against the Wildcats. But Drink says there's no controversy. They know who their guy is.
Yeah, I just felt like Brady had gotten hit quite a bit, and after the air got knocked out of him and we threw the interception, I just felt like let's just see if Jack was seeing something different. Obviously not ideal situation for him to go in the game either. Brady's our quarterback. I was just trying to light a spark or get something else going, but Brady's our quarterback.
There are a lot of jobs I would consider a dream job, but I'm sure they all aren't glamorous. But let me tell you this, if every football player should dream of becoming the next Chase Daniel. After starring at Mizzou, he's been a backup quarterback in the NFL since 2010, only starting in 5 games. He's thrown 8 touchdowns and somehow racked up $36 million. Now, after the games on Sundays, he's joining NFL Network as an in-season analyst. No worries, though, his TV obligations won't interfere with the Chargers' practice time. If they need a full-time practice squad quarterback, they can call me. We can trade jobs instantly, guys.
His resume is still a little better than yours when it comes to football.
Absolutely. I would go with him, but I'm being a little biased right now.
All right. Thank you, Ahmad.
Well, are you ready for a Red October? How and when you can get your hands on some postseason Cardinals tickets?